Welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is indeed an instant classic. We are talking about Tough Enough this week. I almost said NXT, but that's tomorrow. That's not today. So anyway, we are talking about Tough Enough today. Pretty good show. I liked it. Again, I didn't get to vote because I went out to a movie, and they're voting. You only get like 20 minutes to vote, which sucks, but whatever. But anyway, let's get into it. I'm gonna go right to the part. They had the opening, obviously, where Jericho welcomes you into the show. Blah blah blah. He said he shows who the judges are, which we already know. And then we went to what they call the barracks, where we had another big argument in the barracks with all the contestants. Basically, everyone wants Diana to go home. I think my cousin, who's not even a wrestling fan, wants Diana to go home. I think her grandma wants her to go home. I don't know. That's just for a different reason. She wants to make her cookies, and I hope her grandma isn't dead because I would feel bad. But anyway, so getting into it, right off the bat, Alex lost a lot of respect for me, basically saying that you don't need to know about the history of wrestling in the WWE to be in the business. At this point, I was 99% sure he'd be in the bottom three or eliminated. That's just something you don't say. I feel like no matter what you get into, you have to know, or you're gonna want to know the history of it. I think it was Patrick who said, you don't get into the NFL and not know who Ray Lewis is. You're not gonna get into professional baseball and not know all these legends. You're not gonna. You have to know the history. Even there's guys that even if you aren't getting into it, you're gonna know. Everyone knows Hulk Hogan. You might not be a baseball fan, but you know Barry Bonds. You might not be a football fan, but you know Emmitt Smith. You have to know the history of something, especially if you're going to get into it. You have to love it, and if you don't know the history of it, obviously you don't love it. So what's the point of getting into it? But do you have any thoughts on that opening, the fight, or what he said?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because even and I understand where Alex was coming from. He kind of cleared it up near the end a little bit, and I understand to a certain degree where Alex is coming from. Being that you don't single solitary thing about the history to be good. You don't necessarily have to know everything. You can still have talent and be good. But then again, you got to know a little bit. And I feel like that's kind of the same way as a fan. Once you become like, for example, for me, I'm a Ravens fan. Once I became a Ravens fan, I wanted to know, to be a passionate fan, I wanted to know more about the Ravens history. And so not too much to learn anyway, but I wanted to know, when their first Super Bowl was and who was the quarterback and stuff like that. Like, I feel like if you're passionate about anything, passionate about, want to know the history of it anyway. And I agree with you on that, in that regard. Yeah, I feel like he lost a little bit of respect from me as well because, you do, need to know some, the knowledge of it. Personally, I feel like a lot of people kind of feel that way.
Yeah, but even then, I feel like even getting into it, going to a wrestling school, you're gonna want to know the history. I feel like that's the first thing. They're gonna be like, oh, so who's your favorite wrestler? What they're gonna want to know that you know about the business. Yeah.
and that was kind of like I just started watching the season 5, uh, and that was kind of like Ariane when she first came in, or Cameron, she's known as now, where he was like, "What's your favorite match?" And she was like, "Melina versus Alicia Fox," and she kind of didn't know as much as she needed to know to kind of go into it, and that's why she ended up getting um, eliminated as well. So I mean, I thought it was kind of interesting. Um, I understand what they mean though when they say you need more of the history and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like I was saying, I still think even going into it just fresh, you got to know the history. You got to, you know, uh, even when you're learning moves, you should sort of know the history of how certain moves started, why you're using this move, so in this part of a match, why you're doing this in a part of a match, which goes back to the history of it, how it started. Um, but anyway, I just, I didn't like the way he. It seemed really disrespectful in the beginning when he was saying it. Like he didn't care about the business. All he cared about was, you don't have to know about the history. All you have to do is the future, which is complete. Like I don't think anyone would agree with that on the roster right now. Um, but anyway, getting back into it. We had our first challenge, and the location of this challenge was in the swamp. Automatically, I was like, okay, if it's Gator wrestling, I love ZZ, but in the interest of fairness, he has to be disqualified. It's not fair. um, but the challenge was actually to swim from the banks where they were to an airboat containing 12 NXT Championship belts. Swim back with the belts to shore, basically. Um, I was kind of upset. I was like, "Damn, they're gonna ruin perfectly good belts in the water. Why would you do that?" Uh, but and we found out that Patrick can't swim, so that's. I feel like in every either reality show or Tough Enough, there's always one person where there's a swimming challenge and they can't swim. Um, so I feel like that's something you would want to know going into, especially a show like this where there's going to be physical challenges. You might want to learn how to swim just in case that comes up. I don't know. But anyway, surprisingly, Diana beats everyone, which I was like, whoa, okay. Didn't see that coming. Alex had to be rescued by a lifeguard because he apparently can't swim either. And then somehow he got to the boat too. I was kind of confused at that. I was like, did the lifeguard take him out to the boat and then leave him there? What? But part, the best part maybe of this whole episode, Patrick is struggling to get to a life float or a life vest floating in the water, only to realize that he could stand in 3 feet of water. Best part of the show. I died. That was so funny. And then Daria lost her title in the lake, or in the river, whatever. So she got chewed out a little bit by Billy Gunn there. So, any thoughts on this challenge?
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting little challenge there. I was surprised that Diana did end up winning, but I feel like Diana has kind of proven that she's pretty athletic. She just complains a whole lot. She just complains about everything. I feel like she would be really good without all the complaining. Call the ambulance and call 911 or something. Like it's ridiculous, girl. Definitely, this was an interesting challenge. Mata and Alex did get kind of left behind. I, I thought it was kind of funny because Patrick and Alex were kind of in the same spot, but they didn't end up in the same spot. And I'm not, don't go here. I'm pretty sure Patrick did not even make it like 3 feet. in the water, and no one chewed him out for it. They got mad because Alex didn't finish it. But with Patrick, they were like, he's black, he can't swim. It's a stereotype. We got it. It's fine. I just didn't. I'm like, what? Like, why is he not getting chewed out? Like, come on now. And I felt a little bad for Daria when she kind of got chewed out because I was like, I understand what he means and everything, but I mean, you're swimming with a title belt. It's a little bit difficult. Some of the people didn't even get title belts. I'm pretty sure Patrick didn't have a title belt at all anyway. So but no one still. It just didn't make sense to me. But I definitely like this challenge. Definitely, it was very a very intriguing challenge. Kind of that typical swimming challenge in pretty much any reality show. So I don't know why they don't prepare for that in advance. You know you're gonna see.
It's a belt. You put it around your damn waist. That's what you do with a belt. What? Anyway, whatever. Why didn't they chew out Austin when he threw? No, was it the Rock? Yeah, it was the Rock that threw the belt. But anyway, or the Rock's belt. Yeah, actually, both of them did. Yeah, now that I remember, yeah. But anyway, we had lots of beef between Josh and Tanner this week. I didn't really write too much about it. It was just arguments and fighting and blah, 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 and I'm better than you, but I'm not going to admit it, and I'm not admitting it, so why are you mad at me for admitting it when I'm not? I don't know. Any thoughts on the beef between Josh and Tanner?
Tanner did absolutely nothing this week. Like, he didn't really win anything or blow anybody away this week. He did maybe once, but they're still on his back about it. I'm like, what? Why aren't you mad at freaking? I don't know. I don't even know who won that challenge for them. On that one, I don't know. It's just weird, man. Why are they so mad at Tanner? He hasn't done anything to these people. Quit hating on the man.
They're just intimidated. They're intimidated because he's so good. But anyway, next we get the first of this season's guest superstars, Roman Reigns, featuring your boy, Bull Dempsey, doing his top rope finisher, basically talking about courage. Do you have the courage to do things like this? Which was kind of cool. I didn't like that there was such a short period. In past Tough Enoughs, when there would be a guest superstar, they would stay for at least a good segment, and they would work with them on something or do something with them. He was there for 2 seconds, and then he was gone. I was like, what? I hope that's not like it for the whole season. But anyway, this week they started kind of doing bumps, which usually the second week they start usually doing bumps, learning how to do them. And this week's optional challenge, they said, was taking a flat back bump off of a platform set on the top turnbuckle, which was kind of cool. I was surprised. Most of them did it. I think all of them did it. Gabby was the first one to do it and did a John Cena ass bump. If you don't know what a John Cena ass bump is, just go look at a John Cena bump, and that's what a John Cena ass bump is. Diana got up there and froze for half an hour. I think it was half the show she was up there just standing there. Finally, she did it and did an even worse John Cena ass bump. But Gigi, Georgia, if you don't know who that is, Gigi and Patrick were the two best, so technically the two winners of this challenge. Any thoughts on this challenge?
Gigi, Georgia, I don't care what to call you. I love you. She's my favorite, personally. I don't know. I just like her for some reason. But yeah, she did pretty good on this one, and Patrick, he knows how to and do anything else. He can fall. It's a good thing. You gotta know how to fall because it's I think that's a good. Definitely it was definitely interesting. My boy Bull Dempsey was in there, and I was hyped. I was like, yes, yes, Bull, Bull. I was hyped. Um, Also, there was a Roman Reigns sighting, which was cool. Um, and all the so they were done. There was gonna be no great girl bumps except for Georgia. Um, and then Ty Dillinger was there as well. I think he was the one that took the finisher from Bull Dempsey. I'm pretty sure that was him. I thought that was kind of cool. I like seeing the NXT guys kind of show up at the performance center for that since they're kind of still training as well. Um, you know, nothing really to say about this. Some of them were just horrible, and some of them were actually pretty good. I think for the most part everybody did pretty good on it, except for like some of the girls kind of you know twerked it out on the way down or something like to that. I have no idea what was going on with some of those girls, but you know, I thought I like this challenge though, definitely.
Yeah, it was definitely a unique challenge. They haven't done anything like that in the past, and Tough Enough. Of course, again, past Tough Enoughs, they haven't had the performance center, so they haven't had like training rings, which I think that was a training ring. If you saw them take the bumps, they did sink in more than a normal wrestling ring. So obviously, it's more of a training type ring to learn, top rope stuff. Um, which is cool that they have that. So next, again, Diana and Daria having some beef. Then Diana asks ZZ to switch rooms with her. ZZ didn't have a problem with that. He didn't have a problem with going to the girls' room. My boy. He's like, okay, I'll do it. Anything you want. Any thoughts on that?
All right. Um, yeah, like first off with Diana and Daria, Diana and Gabby kind of being the troublemakers of the group kind of bond together a little bit. I like that Gabby at least found a friend. I kind of like it. Not all the time, but sometimes she can be okay. Um, I loved how it was kind of like one of those little high school things, arguing, and you go to the corner and try to listen to it or watch it like a high school fight or something, stuff like that. That they added that in there. You know, ZZ, ZZ the man. ZZ probably got all the women on his finger, just for being the Gator wrestler and being just who he is. Man, I was like, so so what that means for ZZ. You know what that means for ZZ. I don't care if she got a fiance. That don't matter. This is ZZ's time, okay? ZZ's time. But yeah, ZZ was definitely excited to go to the girls' room, and I thought that was pretty funny. Pie reference at the end was kind of funny too.
Yeah. So next, my favorite part of NXT this season, the grill. It's grilling time. So Daniel first asks Patrick and Alex to come up together. He applauds them for not being able to swim and still going for the challenge. He asked Alex what he means when he says knowledge means nothing. Alex says that he believes that when you work hard, that's what matters, not statistics, but actual talent. Paige says that sounds moronic. Daniel asks Patrick his response to what Alex said. Alex says that he agrees to an extent. He says you don't need to be a fan to get into the business, into the WWE, which which I was surprised Daniel Bryan said, considering he came from the bottom literally, in old gymnasiums and whatever. So I would think he would, and he's always been a fan his whole life. So I was surprised that he kind of agreed. But he says when you're in the WWE, you should know the history. Hogan completely disagrees and says, you need to know who, Andre is. You need to know who Buddy Rogers is. You need to know who Chris Jericho is. You need to know the history of the WWE, which I completely agreed with. Um, Hogan tells ZZ, there's something in the business called gimmick infringement, and everyone knows The Rock eats the best pie. Making a joke about something that ZZ said earlier in the show. He he asked ZZ what type of pie he likes. It takes ZZ a minute, and he says sugar-free. And Daniel asked him what he expects to see in the women's bedroom since he's moving, switching rooms. ZZ says that he was actually referring to the women as pie. When they're hot, they can burn you, but when they're cooled down, they're really sweet. All the girls were like, "Oh, that's so sweet." So Paige asks Sarah and Amanda to step forward. Paige says that they both literally blend into the background like furniture. She says she wouldn't even remember Sarah's name unless she was named after the cheesecake Sara Lee. She says that Amanda is just basically Daria's sidekick. And Paige says that, they need to step it up and get some personality, or they can get off Paige's stage. So next, Hogan asks Alex, Mata, and Daria to step up. He says he doesn't know what pissed him off more, seeing Alex and Mata quit in the middle of a challenge, and Mata or Daria losing the title on the bottom of the river floor. Daria says, she agrees and says without failure there is no success, and this will be her last failure. Just, to me, another BS line to try to save her ass. Any thoughts on the grilling this week?
It was. I liked the grilling this week more than I liked it last week. ZZ's pie answer, I just really liked. Um, yeah, I do agree with Paige a little bit with the bringing some personality, but I feel like Amanda has shown more personality than Sara Lee has. But I feel like Sara Lee kind of has the potential to be. She's just not showing it yet. Um, I think she has that potential. She's just not really showing it. Kind of like, I have been watching that season 5 of Tough Enough, and the guy who got eliminated on the second week was a guy who Trish Stratus really wanted him to show some personality, but, when it came time to show the personality, he didn't show it. So, like, it was kind of a similar situation that I found with tonight's bottom 3 when that came up. I don't know. I feel like Amanda does have a little bit more personality, because even if you hang out with the troublemaker, you do get kind of put into, or person, you kind of get put into that mold, even if you aren't as fiery as they are. So I feel like she kind of is showing a little bit more personality than maybe they can. But I'm not sure which one. I think quitting is a little bit more of the title. But then again, did Mata? I don't know about Mata, but Alex, did he really quit? Because Patrick did the same thing and doesn't get chewed out for it. Patrick should either, but no one said Patrick quit.
He couldn't swim. He couldn't swim. And he didn't know he was in 3 feet of water.
Come on, man. He couldn't swim. Neither could Alex when he got out in the middle of the water. He couldn't swim either. See, I don't know. I'm just kidding. I just don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. But I don't know. Anna said she couldn't swim and she won. So whatever. but yeah, that's about all I got to say on that one.
Yeah. So the bottom three this week was Alex, obviously, Sarah Lee, and Diana. Um, I didn't get to vote, but if I did, normally I would have wanted Diana to leave, but after what Alex said, I wanted him gone. Any thoughts on the top three? Do you agree with it? Was there anyone you would have picked instead of somebody, or?
I definitely agree with the bottom three. Um, you know, Alex, they all had their reasons for being there. Alex for his comments, Sarah for not being, kind of being herself, but not really being as outgoing as she should be, and then Diana for being Diana. The only one I kind of thought about a little bit was Diana because I was like, she did well. She didn't do anything wrong. I didn't feel like she really had done anything wrong. I felt like she did what she needed to do in the competitions. So I feel like I don't know if I agreed with her, but other than that, you know, I was fine with it.
Yeah. So to be fair in this, they were all given the usual 30 seconds to, give their plea, why they should stay. To be fair, Alex only got 19 seconds. His time started before Chris was done talking to him. I don't know if you noticed that, but I did, and I was like, I want him to go, but still, that's not fair. I don't know. But Alex did get eliminated, so he's gone. Again, I'm iffy on it because I completely, lost respect for what he said. But in the beginning, I felt like he had was one of the ones who had the most look to him, and a little bit of a it factor, I guess. But we still have some good guys in there, and I'm still not, there's not really one girl that I'm really set on. I feel like they're all a little bland to me, and the only ones that step up that pop out for me are the ones that I hate, that annoy me, and I don't want to be there, like Diana and Gabby. Um, but we'll see what happens next week. I didn't know if was there a preview because I didn't see. It cut off my recording. If there was a preview for next week, usually or sometimes they'll show, next week on Tough Enough. I don't know if there was, but hopefully, we will get a guest superstar every week. Hopefully it's two, one main roster and one NXT, doing something. And hopefully it's longer than the sighting of Roman Reigns, because I swear, if you blink, you missed it. But yeah, it was a good episode. I like it. I'm excited. It's getting me more pumped up. Really still not sure about the whole setup of the stage and the kind of American Idol type feel to it. It still has to grow on me. But I'm just excited that Tough Enough is back. After season 5, we thought it was going to come back, the next year, and that was back, I think, 2011. So it's been a couple of years again. So hopefully it continues. They do season 7, 8, whatever. Hopefully it gets popularity enough to keep it going. Because I miss Tough Enough. I miss seeing this kind of. We had NXT, but that was guys who were already, in wrestling, who were already signed, who, got to compete to get to the main roster. So this is kind of, it's a unique thing where, people from off the street, come in and, work for a WWE contract. But any more thoughts before we leave the good people of Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast land?
Now, there's there is one girl, and I mean one girl, who who is above the rest. My
Yeah,
girl
she got
Georgia.
eliminated because of health.
Not her. Not her. I love her too, but my girl Georgia, that girl's growing on me every week. She's growing on me every week, man. She's the name of a state, man. Come on, that's when you know. That's when you know. Anyway, going back to the kind of the bottom three, I think the right person went home tonight. This was kind of a tough bottom three for me because I really didn't want either of them to go, like any of them to go, because I felt like even Alex kind of needed a second chance. With Diana, with Diana, I felt like she kind of I wanted her to go a little bit, but I was kind of like, she's been killing it. She doesn't really deserve it right now. But yeah, I definitely. The only thing I don't like about this season compared to previous seasons, especially the one in 2011, is that the judges are the ones that go with the final three or the bottom three. And in previous years, it was the trainers and the host, and that's because the host was a main portion of the show and the trainers. And I like that format better, just because I feel like the judges don't really get to see all of it. They don't really they only get to see it from what we see. They don't really get to see all of it. It doesn't seem like. It seems like they're watching it with us. Whereas, like, you know, the trainers, they saw it firsthand. They saw what was going on. They saw their personalities firsthand. They kind of got that firsthand experience with them. I don't know how you feel about that, but I personally just feel like I like the older format better, just because it made more sense.
Yeah, me personally, I like the original format, the first 4 seasons where there wasn't even a host. It was just there would be, the auditions where it would be a big panel. It would be Al Snow and then some of like executives and talent agents or whatever, and then the main show was just Al Snow and the other trainers. There wasn't really a host. It was just the trainers, and they would train them, and they would pick the top or they eliminated people. I like that. I don't really like this, separate judges, host thing. I just don't like it. Um, but that's just my opinion. Um, but tell us your opinion. Do you like the old Tough Enough? Do you like the new Tough Enough? Is there a complete different format you would pick? Let us know. But that is pretty much it for this week's Tough Enough. We will be getting out NXT and TNA. Probably the normal time we do, because I have work tomorrow, so I don't know that I will get to it tomorrow. But we will get it out for you. I'm excited about it. And then July 4th, 5:30 in the morning. I will not be up, but I'll watch it later, and then we'll do a review on that at 5:30 in the. No, we're not going to do anything at 5:30 in the morning. I don't even know if there is an actual 5:30 in the morning. I've never seen it. I don't know if it exists. I've heard rumors. I don't know. Let me know if you've actually seen it. Send me a picture, maybe a video of 5:30 in the morning, because I've never seen it. I don't know. But that is our show for this week. So we will see you on the flip side, or the next time you come to this show. I try to be cool sometimes, and I'm sorry I'm not, whatever. But we will see you. So subscribe, like, comment, follow the Twitter. Stalk us if you want. Do anything. We just want attention. Is really what we want. That's really, and we will take it any way we can. DJ is looking at me a little weird, but he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand commitment. Commitment. This is what we do. Okay. Anyway, we're done. So we will see you guys on a later date. See ya.